Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your Mega 31. We've got the Atlanta race. Once again, I apologize that I couldn't get a truck video out last week, but I mean, what a speculation video, anyways, because we didn't have qualifying and stuff like that. But just a reminder that if I don't get a video out, you can always leave a comment. And one of the last videos, you get a hold of me on Discord or X at MegaRuler31. Email fsi@dfs.com. And, there's different ways that I can get help to you or send you a sheet or whatever. If you're stuck, can't give away all the stuff all the time because, that's what our subs pay for. But, if I can't get a video out and you're really struggling with a slate, then I'm always so glad to help reach out to me in various ways. So we have Atlanta. It's gonna be a little bit cooler there than some races that they've had there in the past. About 50 degrees today when they start racing, and it's an intermediate track. They repaved it after the 2021 season, so like the last three seasons, it's been pretty fast, almost acting like an intermediate super speedway. It's not as like Daytona and Talladega where you have the big one. Like there are some crashes, usually about maybe up to like seven caution um, during, but it's more like single car, like small groups of cars. They do get spread out a little bit, single car racing, and sometimes like maybe less than half the field finishes on the lead lap because it is a smaller track, being closer to an intermediate than a 2.5 mile super speedway. One thing I did notice that they were starting to talk about theirs, even though they repaved it, starting to get some bumps and stuff, and it's not as like super smooth as it was initially, but the speeds are still there. So how do we approach this? We still want to approach it like a super speedway. We want to like stack the back, but I don't think you have to go as far back, especially in the truck series, because you've got some guys that are probably not going to finish, some drivers, sorry, because you have males and females in here, that aren't going to finish on the lead laps. So there are, I think, like 90 some dominating points up for grabs here with fast laps and with laps led, but you generally don't see anybody really out there like dominating more than half the race. So I think those dominating points are something that you want to look at, maybe trying to get with a single dominator potentially, but I think you want to look at more place differential. So, one thing to note: the McNeely Helgerin racing trucks were phenomenal out there. So, I think really that's probably where you want to look for your dominators. And I think probably one of them is going to win the race. So, let's look at the breakdown quick. So, Lozak really looked good out there in practice, and well, that wasn't in practice, but in qualifying. Um, really fast truck, got the pole. So definitely someone that I could look as a dominator there, or Enfinger. Either one of them, I think you could go with. I'm probably going to leave Mozak just because 69. I know it's a little bit of a risk, but I don't think he wrecks like a front. I think he finishes the race and has a decent day. So I think that definitely can look at him in cash or Enfinger. Hemrick and Kruth. The thing with like Enfinger and Hemrick, like I trust Enfinger. He's been in the truck series. He knows what he's doing. He's good at super speedways. Hemrick, on the other hand, is back in the truck series. He's got a lot of experience and everything here, but 93, he's got to do a lot to pay off his price tag. So I just don't see him quite getting there, or maybe even finishing in the top 10. So I'm a little bit more leery on him. Same thing with Kruth. Kruth, he has one career win, but I think that he could probably hang up there. But I really like going after like probably one of the cheaper ones here, like Wood. I was really impressed with how well he's been racing recently and how he did in qualifying here. So I think I'd probably go with one of 6K guys as my dominator, but Enfinger is definitely an option if you can fit him in, and Hemrick and Kruth have some upside there. Garcia, I think, is a fade. I don't think that really think that he could stay in the top 10 here. Ankrum, I really like as kind of a sleeper. I think people are going to overlook him. I think they're going to look at the other McNeely um, trucks. So, and I really like the track history and everything here. So, Akram, I think I'm gonna put in my 20K lineup as kind of a sleeper, medium owned guy. Friesen's kind of just there. He's definitely they kind of stripped down the team after not really getting to where they wanted to be in the 23 and 24 season. We started to see a little bit of them making some headway, but I just think it's more of a GPP here. It's not like super dominant, but he's better. So I think there's a little bit of floor there, but I like some trucks further on back. Kyle Busch. Doesn't look as dominant as he has been in the past here when he owned his own team. I mean, he has run in the Spire truck. He's won in the Spire truck. Um, Definitely. So, and I like the fact that he's not like 13K or 14K. It's a very reasonable price tag. But again, he qualified ninth, so and that's good because that gives you a little bit of place differential here. And I think that he'll be very chalky. But I think you'll have to make a decision because there's a lot of other great plays in the high nine or 10K that people will try to jam in. And I don't think you can get like all like four of them in lineups. So, and they have much better place differential. So even if he goes there and wins, it's not like a race where he can go out and dominate and lead every single lap and really get those points to pay off his price tag. And you're really only looking at I know he's got the third highest like raw points in my projection here. So I'm not saying don't play him in cash, but I think that it's a decision you have to make. Will probably split my cash like I usually do in a Kyle Busch race. I will play a Kyle Busch line and have my cash, and then on non-Kyle Busch line in my other half, and then usually that usually works out where I can cash in both of them. But if I lose like one of them, like if you had to have Kyle Busch, then at least I hedged and I kind of break even there. So that's not ideal, but then I'm not losing. So, but most of the times when if I split the Kyle Busch one, they both worked out. So that's good. Ben Rhodes and Crafton here, I think they're both really good at this track and at super speedways. I mean, I guess it's not the same as Talladega and Daytona, but they should do pretty well here. So I feel they have floor for cash. And Majeski, I think I know I don't know if it's gonna. It's like borderline high ownership, but I really want him in my 20K lineup too because I think people are really, yeah, I think I'm gonna change that to medium because I really think with like all the other ones when we get down here, start talking with the place differential and the prime plays that he's gonna get low overlooked also in this Thor Sport truck, and I think that he's one to look at. Luke Fennis. Didn't get a race in Daytona. Was kind of bummed about that. But they already had the ride to somebody else. But I hear he's like mechanic and good in the garage and stuff. It's a young kid, but like a real gearhead, really understands it. And I think he's got a bright future. They entered him as a rookie, even though he missed the first race for rookie of the year, because he's going to be running a limited amount. But if it's working out really well, they're going to try to get the sponsorship and funding to keep him in the truck for the whole year. So very good in ARCA and other things. The projection is pretty low on him, but I don't mind taking a shot on him in GPP. I think that he's one that could be definitely a sleeper here. I didn't feel like I could put the 20K tag on him because there's a guy that's in a similar situation that I looked at down below, which I'll get to in a second, that I think has a little bit more upside. So, but I think, keep your, make some notes on him, keep your eye on him. I think that he's going to do decent. Um, Perez here was decent at Daytona, and I think he's got some upside also. I think that probably Fennis's production should be similar to where Perez's is. But I just think of their starting position here. They're in GPP land, maybe last man in cash if you need somebody and you don't want to go all the way up and have like two dominators. And and play like Mozak and Woods in your same line here. I think that this is. I mean, I'd probably drop down to Matt Mills if I am in this price range, but if you already or Sutton right behind him. But if you want to be a little bit different in GVP and come off of Sutton, and if you got like $400 or $600 more in your lineup that you can spend, then these guys are definitely some options for you. Sutton in the Strackley truck looks decent. I think that he can at 15th spot. I think that he could finish in the top 20 at least and be able to pay off his tag. Lane Riggs is another rising star here. He's probably get multiple wins this season. Like he started off rough to start the season last year, and then just came on really strong in the playoffs at the end. Even though he wasn't in the playoffs, I don't believe. I just think he just started winning races in the playoff time frame. But I think that he's going to be highly owned and a strong cash play. But Michael McDowell's going to be my first prime here. Tons of super speedway experience. He's dropping down from Cup. He's won Daytona before and really understands it. Had some bad luck in the truck race at Daytona. It was a little underwhelming, so it might scare some people off him. But I think that's where I'm going to start with my primes. Brazier, I've got a lot of respect for her as a driver. It's just a really great rookie class that we have here. Um, so I think that they're going to do really well. But she did struggle at Daytona. I don't know if all of it was her fault. Like the truck got banged up early, and that might have caused her to get in. I think she was in like three separate wrecks, but I don't know if like all were her fault. So I'll have to keep an eye on her. But I think she's got more talent than Deegan and Danica Patrick did. Like the Toyota Racing development series. Like I think that she's really done well in ARCA and all the other things that she's raced, and I think that there's a lot of talent here, and hopefully she can be successful to kind of break that glass ceiling for women in motorsports. And we've had a lot of them there and they've done well, but I think that she's one that could actually challenge and win races down the road. It's a great truck, a great program. I have heard that at Tricon they all were sick a little bit, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Corey Heim's going to be another prime here. I think he definitely can get up there and has the upside to win this race. He did end up winning Daytona, finishing second because Parker Klingerman's truck was too low or something in the back, so he ended up getting disqualified. So he does have a win under his belt, but I think he wants more. I think he wants a championship this season to move up to Xfinity or Cup. And I think he's got a lot of talent, a really good truck. And starting 19th is a little bit disappointing here, but I think that he'll definitely be able to get up into the top 10, if not the top five, if not even win this thing. That's why he's on. Did I put him on the cover? I can't remember. But I think that he's definitely one to be looking at today. Bird GPP here. He's okay. I probably if he finishes where he starts, he's okay. Munoz, again, it's a boy living out his childhood dream. I just until he starts winning and shows me stuff, like I respect him and what he's doing and stuff, and I think he's okay. He's got some talent in this, but it's like when Jeremy Lin, like Lin Sanity took over. Um, or like Gardner Minshew, like these guys come and they provide like a lot of excitement when they get interjected into like a sport, but then they just sometimes just don't like sustain it. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, he did okay in ARCA. It's Reunion Brothers are trying to give him some resources to be successful. And he's got the money behind it to help back it. But again, I would need to see stuff before and I think there's a better place out there. Giovanni here, he's going to be my other 20K driver. He looked really um, good at Daytona, and I think that with the place differential and everything here, he's got some upside, and I think people are going to pick like Swalich over him. Like I think Swalich right behind him is going to be a pretty high owned play in cash. And again, how do you win a GPP? You find a driver that's in a similar situation. He's $100 more, and I think everybody's just going to gravitate to Swalich. So if you fade Swalich in your GPP and you go with Giovanni and then play like some of the other like prime cash plays. In my 20K GPP lines, I usually use like the primes or like cash plays and stuff. These are just the drivers I feel strongly about to differentiate myself over another, as I've been talking about. Here. So instead of like playing Chandler Smith down here, which I think a lot of people do, I save the 200 and I play Majeski. And instead of playing Swalich, I play Giovanni. And that's how I make my line different. And then I play like my other prime plays and stuff. And that's how I've been very successful. Haven't won the 20K yet. I don't remember how, if it's 20K, 10K, how much it is, but the top GPP basically. But I have been pretty successful in it, and it's just a matter of time before things break. And people have been using these plays and done really well, and also some reviewers. And I think somebody did actually take one of them down. So, Swallow I have no problem with here. Matt Mills, I think, is probably your best value play here at 62 for place differential. Caden Honeycutt's been a solid play also over the seasons, starting 25th. I think that's a strong cash play. The other thing too is like there's a huge safety net down here because there's not 38 trucks or 40 trucks. So the Justin Carroll here starting 32nd, like already starts with like a bonus of I believe eight, right? Um, no, actually nine. So So even if like Connor Mozak like crashes out and loses 31 place differential points, he's still going to get the nine there. So so it's a negative point two, but it's not as bad as when there's like 40 trucks in the field or 38 trucks in the field. So some of these back cars here, like the floor is like incredible because they can't lose that much place differential point. And if they do, like their finishing position, they're still going to get a lot of points down here. So you can almost build your lineup here between like 23rd and 20 and 30th, you know, and that's probably, what you really want to do. Like I have my prime plays a little bit higher because I think that they're very strong plays and are going to they definitely get the plays differential and they're not trucks that should be like finishing like where they're starting. They should be finishing much, much higher. But there's a decent place differential um, range down here, like I said, 23 to 30. So you can really build some really nice lines here. Tanner Gray, man, he was sick, a little bit under the weather. So the truck was like shaking a little bit, but they'll without practice, I'm sure, and they can't touch it, but I'm sure it was just a minor adjustment or whatever through like the first pits or whatever. They'll be able. It wasn't anything like major that super concerns me. That's what kind of slowed him down in qualifying. Spencer Boyd, even though it's like a smaller team, he's usually pretty solid down here, 5,700, 5,600. Chandler Smith is going to be super popular. I saw what he did at Daytona to the poor 66 car. Wrecked it so bad that they have to decommission it, and I don't know if that team's going to be able to find 100K or whatever, sorry, or 400K to get a new car to go out racing again. So we might not see that team the rest of the year. I don't know. He's bounced around all over the place in Xfinity, and then now he's back down here. So I just Rackley I don't think he's Rackley. I think I have that wrong here. Um, he should be in front row, I believe. I don't know how I got that, so apologize for that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He's in a good truck, and he is a good driver, and he will be very popular. I think again, I just like McDowell over him. Again, sometimes it's about choices. I just with McDowell's experience and everything on super speedways, I would rather pay for him if I'm paying up. But I know a lot of people are going to take Chandler Smith. It makes sense. I get it. It's great. It's a good place differential play. I just think there's more upside with McDowell. So you can make your decision there. That's, what I try to do. I try to talk you through things. I let you know what like a lot of the other industry's leaning, and like I know that he's probably a core play for a lot of people, and I get it, and I still have him as a cash play. And if I could work him in a lineup, I would consider doing it. And and some of the builds I did try to squeeze him in, but if you're trying to get Kyle Busch in, you got to make some decisions here, and I'm leaning more McDowell and Heim, but Chandler Smith is definitely in play. Graham and McGee, I think, are almost the same play here. I like Graham a little bit better since he usually gets the better equipment here. Like they flip flop between like the 2 and the 22. Like they were listed in reverse when they first came out as entries, and then now when they go on the track, they're in the other truck. So it really doesn't matter. It's just kind of like a number. But I think that either one of them are GPPs. Like I'd go up a little bit to like Boyd or Mills. Again, I just fear that they might end up like multiple laps down. But Curry, I think, is would be my prime play down here at 72 is like a really good, solid truck with some place differential. Could sniff the top 20, but definitely can get you almost 5x, I think, with upside there. And Justin Carroll, he couldn't qualify because they had mechanical issues with the truck. They had no practice, so I'm not super confident that they got it all fixed. So yes, he's probably a great floor play here, starting at the bottom. He's going to get you 8 points no matter what. So that's half his projection. If he does absolutely nothing and goes nowhere, which gets you almost 3x. I usually look for 4x in my drivers. So that's something to consider. But I think that I'm going to be out on him just and maybe McGee and Reum and Cash just because there's a lot of other really good plays here, and I can't afford to be like one of the trucks like multiple laps down or get caught up in something in the back of the race and crash out. But again, like I said, with only 32 trucks, there's a lot of floor down here, so don't be afraid to sprinkle something into your GPPs. So just to recap again, you want to try to figure out a dominator up top or just go all place differential. If you want to start with like McDowell as your like highest driver up, that's fine. And Heim, or if you want to, then you can just really build from 23 down to 30th, skip Hume, but you can just mix and match those drivers and probably build some solid lines and then sprinkle Kyle Busch in. So I got 50 questions from chat below. Hit me on Megaro31 on Twitter/X. If you want more information on FSI DFS, you can go to the description of the video and you can get into our Discord and everything. And that's another thing too. Discord's free to get into. So go to a website, you can just join the Discord, and in the lobby, you can always ask questions if there's no videos or anything and need help, then at least you're in there. It's easier to DM me like when we're in the same server. We can set up a relationship there. And actually, hundreds of you have reached out to me. Again, I can't give you away everything because I do have paying subs that I need to take care of. But there'll be some times where there's no practice and qualifying is like really late, and you only have the hour, and there's not enough time to get video out. And I'll try to do speculation ones for those ones. But if you want the real information from time to time, I don't mind helping you out and sharing it with you. I'm not here to like try to make $1 million off of selling NASCAR content. I'm here to help you. That's why I really enjoy it. Labor of love. And I appreciate you watching. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. I'll have an Xfinity video pretty soon and a cup video tonight. And I'll see you next time.